Dragon Ball Z. Oh, no, it didn't.
Is that Kroze? Kroze!
No, not Kroze.
No, not yet.
Kroze is not here right now. He's going to be here very soon.
No, it's Kirbopher.
He's currently
I don't
selling.
even know why he's important. He just has a funny name. And people like to shout, apparently.
I'm sorry. Kroze is currently downstairs at the t-shirt place selling t-shirts. Go figure. He will be coming. Yeah, he'll be coming very soon. But yeah, you're stuck with us in the meantime. There we go. How y'all doing?
All right.
Woo is not the correct response to that question. That doesn't make any
here.
sense. How are you? Woo. That's better. That's better. That's even better.
Friggin' sweet.
Brooklyn Rage!
It's like you found a friggin' raggy Shih Tzu.
So anyway. Anyway, yeah, this is the How I Got Started Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge panel, which is interesting because it's hard to say how I got started in Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. I started getting interested in editing after I watched a film called The Blair Witch Project. I don't know. Why does that inspire laughter in all of you? That film wasn't edited. But yeah, I looked at that film and I saw that was the first time a film or any kind of visual medium had sort of inspired sort of interest in, well, you can actually take something that's an already established concept and edit it and rearrange it and tell a completely different story. Because originally, if you actually do any research into the Blair Witch Project, the stuff they filmed, it was a very different, from as far as the characters were concerned, it was a very different story. And I just thought, wow, you can just take something that's, it's real and it's there, and you can just change it if you see the right pieces that fit in the right places, and that inspired my interest in film and editing. Then, as far as Yu-Gi-Oh! Is concerned, I started watching that when I was actually supposed to be watching Pokemon. Supposed to be watching Pokemon. Yeah, and the first ever actual experience with Yu-Gi-Oh! I had was I saw the movie poster in the theater, in the cinema, and I thought, that looks like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Why would anybody spend money to watch something like that? And yeah, then I saw it on a Monday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, just before Pokemon came on. And it was the tail end of the episode where Marek watches Ishizu lose to Kaiba and turns to all the other characters and now you will face the wrath of blah blah blah, my trading cards. Ow, my face hurts. Yeah, ow, my face. But yeah, why? I just remember watching that and thinking, why are they making such a huge fuss over this card game? And I thought, what is this some sort of Pokemon thing? It doesn't look that impressive. And then I actually thought, you know what, as a laugh, I'm going to sit and watch one of these episodes. And it was like the Yami Bakura versus Yami Marek duel, and I was actually kind of like, wait, why are these guys fighting? It's not like Ash Ketchum who's trying to be like, I want to be the best. It's like, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to send you to the Shadow Realm because we can't say that on Kids WB.
Right. We didn't have Kids WB, we had Sky Television, which had all the most popular cartoons and TV shows, and basically I watched it and I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I kind of got hooked because of the characters more than anything, because I started watching at that point, and then they went into the whole Noah. I don't know if any of you have actually watched the original series, but they go into this series where Noah Kaiba shows up, and they go into this whole backstory for Seto Kaiba, and it's like, these characters aren't just sort of doing things because the script says so. They're doing things because they actually have backstory and motivation, and there's something interesting going on with these characters. And then toward the end of that season, they went into the Battle City Finals, and then I learned, okay, so it's also marketing a trading card game. I didn't realize. And then I kept watching it, and they had the first 2 episodes online for free to watch. And I watched those, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to start collecting this, and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to see what happens. And I collected the first 2 seasons on DVD, and I was into it. I mean, I still am. I'm into it now, but I'm not quite as wow, this is exciting kind of thing. Yeah, I wanted to get involved with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom, so I thought, well, you know what, I have an interest in editing and video making, and I I kind of do these crazy voices because I used to, when I was in school, I used to make fun of the teachers that would, you know, take me like for Latin class. I had one teacher who was like, again please, like that. And it was just, I would imitate these voices to make people laugh more than anything. It wasn't like I didn't hate the classes or the teachers. I wanted to, it got a reaction from people. And that's something I've always been really, really fascinated by, is the reaction, especially as far as humor goes. And I wanted to do something that would make people laugh, that would involve video editing, and it got me into the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom. So I mean, I thought, oh, I have all these Yu-Gi-Oh DVDs lying around. Why not just, you know, dub over it and edit it to the point where, you know, I'm sort of telling my version in a sense, but telling the same exact story and telling it in a way that's entertaining to other people who may never have even seen it or even know what it is. So yeah.
By the way, did you? I'm sorry to cut off, but there was somebody you thanked, I think, in the credits of the movie that like got you into Yu-Gi-Oh specifically. Was there something? About
there's somebody called Maya Aibo on. They didn't get me into Yu-Gi-Oh specifically. They got me into the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom because she's a mother of 3, and she's more into Yu-Gi-Oh than her kids are. And yeah, she was a really, really nice and supportive person, and she's been friends with me all 4 years since I've been doing this, and she was with me before I was even a big deal, you know, quote unquote. Yeah, it's just I posted the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, thinking, you know, it would be cool if maybe 12 people watched it. And then a couple of weeks later, I realized people actually still want me to keep making this. I'll make another one, and then I made those first episodes in the space of maybe 2 hours. And these days, I agonize over them over the course of like weeks and maybe even months. But yeah, it picked up. It got to the point where, you know, I had 1,000 subscribers. And that was subscribers. But it was a big deal to me to even for people to even care that I was doing something, because I tried several times online to make people to create something that people cared about. Like you've seen some examples of that with some of the art that I've done with like various different comics and stuff. And there was a period on the internet where everybody had a webcomic, and I had 5, and nobody read them.
5?
I had 5
really
webcomics.
2?
I had 5 webcomics going at once. There was one called The Tongue, there was one called The Fairest Sex, there was one called Peter and Nero. There was loads of them. It was ridiculous. It got to the point where I really couldn't keep track of it, and nobody cared for them. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what, it's no big deal. I'm just going to stop. And then I just stumbled upon Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and I wasn't trying to do anything that was significant, and people really responded to it, and it's really blown me away that just doing something that, you know, I thought I would do for fun, and something that, you know, I really wanted to do, not because everybody else was doing it. It picked up, and, you know, people sort of, it registered with them that kind of the thing I was going for, and, you know, the humor really seemed to you know, it struck people, and it was really amazing to watch it all happen. I mean, when I saw people posting about Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged on the Penny Arcade forums, even though they were saying, this is the most retarded thing I've ever seen, I was like, they're talking about me!
Publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's essentially how everything got started. And season 1, it was pretty much from start to finish. It was really a big deal for people. And I remember the first time I faked that I was changing the theme tune, where I did, like, in episode 10, I did the Evangelion opening sort of fake out, just because I was like, every 10 episodes I should change the opening just to it'd be funny, it'd be a running joke. I got like 1 million messages saying, why did you change? Why is it different? And I was like, why is what different? Opening, make better now, good. People like that opening theme tune, and it's interesting because that's from the original season 0,
which isn't even out over here.
It's like nobody really knows about that, and I mean, some people know about it. I know about it. I haven't seen it. I've seen a couple of episodes, and I've read the manga that it's based on, and it's interesting. It's a very different take on Yu-Gi-Oh. It's sort of like, it's like dark. It's a much darker, yeah. He kills people. People die.
People die in Yu-Gi-Oh? Get out.